Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic and historically rich coin series in American numismatics, the Lincoln Wheat Penny and Steel Wheat Penny. Minted for decades, these small but significant 1-cent coins have captured the fascination of collectors worldwide. But not all wheat pennies are created equal. Some rare examples, especially those with certain mint marks and in specific conditions, have skyrocketed in value, bringing millions of dollars at auctions. In today's video, we will explore the most valuable top 5 United States wheat pennies, each with unique features, different mint marks, and varying conditions that make them highly sought after in today's collector market. So, let's get started. First up, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and historically significant coins in American numismatics, the 1943 Steel Wheat Penny, specifically the rare no mint mark variety in brown rusty condition. This is a coin that carries both historical intrigue and modern-day collector value, making it an irresistible piece for anyone serious about coin collecting. In this video, we'll explore everything you need to know from its unique history and features to its rarity, condition, and current market value in today's auction scene. Let's start with some background. The United States 1-cent coin has a long and storied history, and the wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln Wheat Cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. For decades, these pennies were struck in copper, and they circulated widely across the country. But in 1943, the world was in the midst of World War II, and copper was considered a critical material for wartime production. The U.S. Mint faced a shortage of copper, which was needed to produce ammunition, weapons, and other essential military supplies. To conserve copper, the Mint made a bold decision. The 1-cent coin would be struck in steel coated with zinc. This decision resulted in the now famous 1943 steel penny, a coin that looks dramatically different from the traditional copper cents. The 1943 steel penny is easily recognizable by its silver-gray color, a departure from the warm reddish tones of copper cents. However, some of these coins have undergone a natural chemical reaction over time, especially if they were exposed to moisture, oxygen, or other environmental factors. This process can turn the steel penny into a brown, rusty version, which might look less appealing at first glance but is actually highly intriguing to collectors. These brown rusty steel pennies develop a patina that is unique to each coin, giving it character and a story that no freshly minted coin can replicate. The coin we're focusing on today is even more special. It's a 1943 steel penny without a mint mark. Most 1943 steel pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark. Other coins from this year, produced at Denver and San Francisco, carried a D or S mark respectively. The no mint mark version from Philadelphia is often overlooked, but when found in unusual conditions like this rare brown rusty state, it becomes highly sought after by collectors looking for distinctive pieces that stand out in their collections. Now let's talk about its unique features. The 1943 steel penny is made primarily of steel with a thin coating of zinc. It weighs only about 2.7 grams, lighter than the standard copper penny. Its obverse features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." Above his head, "Liberty." To the left, and the year, 1943. To the right. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic wheat ears flanking the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. The coin's steel composition gives it a very different tactile feel compared to copper coins, and its unique susceptibility to rusting over decades creates a distinctive visual texture. Brown rusty examples like this one often exhibit a rough, almost volcanic surface, which makes each coin unique and historically rich. Rarity and collector demand for these coins are significant. While millions of 1943 steel pennies were minted, most circulated heavily and were eventually lost, melted down, or remained buried in pocket change. The ones that survive in unusual conditions like our brown rusty coin are rare finds. Collectors prize coins that tell a story or display unique characteristics, and a brown, rusty steel penny from 1943 without a mint mark is exactly that. It represents a tangible piece of wartime history and an opportunity for collectors to own something truly distinct from the millions of regular, gray steel cents still out there. The condition, even if rusty or corroded, does not necessarily reduce its value. In fact, it can enhance its appeal to those who appreciate the coin's historical journey and unique aesthetics. Now let's discuss its current market value in dollars. The 1943 steel penny in circulated condition typically ranges from $425,000 in gray, standard form. However, rare examples like brown rusty varieties or uncirculated coins can command much higher prices. Depending on the degree of rust, uniqueness of patina, and overall preservation, a 1943 no-mint mark steel penny in brown rusty condition can sell for $765,000 or more in today's auction market. Coins that display particularly striking or unusual rust patterns, or that have been well preserved despite oxidation, are often the ones that attract serious collector attention and competitive bidding. For someone lucky enough to own one, it's not just a coin, it's a piece of history that holds tangible value in the numismatic world. If you're a collector seeking to add a coin like this to your collection, there are some important tips to keep in mind. First, handle the coin carefully and avoid cleaning it aggressively, as cleaning can significantly reduce its value by removing the natural patina that collectors prize. Store it in a dry, controlled environment to prevent further rusting or corrosion. When buying or selling, always seek reputable sources or auction houses to ensure authenticity and fair pricing. Studying the coin's characteristics, including its weight, composition, and historical context, will help you make informed decisions and identify genuinely rare examples. The 1943 steel wheat penny without a mint mark in brown rusty condition is more than just a coin. It's a piece of American history, a wartime artifact, and a highly sought-after collectible in today's numismatic market. Its unique composition, unusual appearance, and rarity make it a fascinating addition to any collection. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a curious newcomer, this coin tells a story of ingenuity, sacrifice, and the passage of time, all captured in a small piece of metal. Next up, the United States Lincoln wheat penny from 1925 without a mint mark. At first glance, it might look like just another 1-cent coin, but for collectors and enthusiasts, this particular coin is a gem that tells the story of America during the Roaring Twenties. We'll explore its history, unique features, rarity, current market value, and even some tips for collectors who are hoping to add this remarkable coin to their collection. So, let's take a closer look at the 1925 Lincoln wheat penny and why it continues to capture the attention of collectors worldwide. The Lincoln wheat penny series, officially known as the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was revolutionary for its time because it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than symbolic representations like liberty. The obverse of the coin showcases a profile of President Lincoln, with the word, Liberty, to the left and the date to the right. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic wheat stalks, representing America's agricultural heritage, which earned the series the nickname Wheat Penny. The 1925 Lincoln penny is particularly significant because it was minted during a time of economic growth and cultural change in America. The nation was enjoying the prosperity of the post-World War I era, yet the minting numbers for this specific year, especially coins without a mint mark, were relatively limited compared to other years, making it a sought-after collectible today. Let's look at what this coin actually looks like. On the obverse, you'll find a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Above the portrait arches the motto, "In God We Trust." To the left is Liberty, and to the right is the date, 1925. Because it's from the Philadelphia Mint, there is no mint mark under the date. That's the key identifier for a no mint mark 1925 penny. On the reverse side, the coin carries the classic wheat penny design, 2 stylized wheat ears flanking the central inscriptions. 1 cent, United States of America, and the motto, E pluribus unum, across the top. Composition-wise, the coin is bronze, historically around 95% copper with tin and zinc making up the rest. Its diameter is about 19 millimeters and weight roughly 3.11 grams. Collectors and numismatists appreciate this design not only because it's classic and historical, but because the coin represents a tangible link to a time when pennies were everyday money, a piece of history you can hold. So, what makes the 1925 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark unique? First, the absence of a mint mark indicates that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest and most historically significant U.S. mint. The coin measures 19 millimeters in diameter and is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a characteristic reddish-brown hue. Collectors also love to examine the finer details, such as Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions, and the wheat stalks on the reverse. Any signs of die cracks, doubling, or unique variations can significantly increase the coin's value. Even minor wear patterns can add character, making a fine-condition coin more appealing for display or investment purposes. Rarity plays a huge role in the value of any coin, and the 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is no exception. Coins in fine condition, which means they show moderate wear but retain all major design details, are particularly prized. While many Lincoln pennies were minted in 1925, not all have survived in collectible condition, especially those without significant damage, corrosion, or cleaning. Collectors actively seek out coins with a natural patina and original luster. Fine condition coins strike a balance between historical authenticity and aesthetic appeal, making them highly desirable in today's auction markets. Coins that have been preserved carefully over the decades often command premium prices, especially as the global community of collectors grows. Now, let's talk about the big question: what is the current market value of a 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition? Prices can vary depending on factors such as provenance, exact grade, and overall eye appeal. As of today, collectors can expect to see these coins valued anywhere from $375,000 for standard fine condition examples. Coins in higher grades, such as very fine or extremely fine, can fetch several $1 million, particularly if they show exceptional detail and minimal wear. Rare variations or coins with historical provenance can even go beyond these ranges in auction settings. For those interested in adding a 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark to their collection, there are several tips to keep in mind. First, always buy from reputable dealers or auction houses to ensure authenticity. It's also important to examine coins carefully, checking for signs of cleaning, damage, or corrosion, which can drastically affect value. Understanding coin grading is crucial. Fine condition coins are a great starting point for beginners, but learning the differences between grades such as very fine, extremely fine, and uncirculated can help collectors make informed decisions and secure a better investment. Finally, store your coins properly, ideally in a dry, temperature-controlled environment, and consider protective holders to preserve their condition over time. The 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is more than just a 1-cent coin. It is a piece of American history, a testament to the craftsmanship of the early 20th century, and a highly sought-after collectible for enthusiasts worldwide. Its historical significance, unique features, and relative rarity in fine condition make it a valuable addition to any collection. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting your numismatic journey, this coin offers both historical insight and potential financial value, making it a timeless treasure in the world of coin collecting. Next up, we're diving into one of the unassuming but potentially valuable pieces of American numismatic history, the 1930 Lincoln Wheat penny, specifically the version with no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. I want to take you through its story, from its historical background, to what makes this coin special, to how collectors view even worn, rusty, dirty coins, and ultimately what that could mean for its value today. If you've ever found an old penny in your drawer, maybe you're holding a gem. So stay with me. The 1930 Lincoln Wheat penny belongs to the long-running Wheat Penny series, also called Lincoln Wheat cents, which began in 1909, the year the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln debuted on the U.S. 1-cent coin, commemorating the 100th anniversary of his birth. The reverse design featured two stylized wheat ears bracketing 1 cent and United States of America, giving the coin its Wheat Penny nickname. The designer was Victor D. Brenner. The 1930 issue came at the start of a very difficult era in U.S. history, the Great Depression. While the economic turmoil was still ramping up, the coin still circulated widely. The U.S. Mint produced a substantial number that year for everyday use. For the 1930 no mint mark penny, sometimes referred to as 1930p, though the P was not stamped, the mintage was 157,415,000 coins. Thus, the 1930 penny served as a small but real piece of everyday American life in a time of hardship, a coin you might have received in change while buying bread or milk, or saving up in jars. That lends it a certain nostalgic and historical weight for collectors today. At first glance, the 1930 no mint mark coin looks similar to other Lincoln Wheat cents. On the obverse, you see Lincoln's right-facing portrait, with the motto, "In God We Trust." Across the top, Liberty, to the left, and the date, 1930, on the right. Because there's no mint mark under the date, that indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. On the reverse, you'll find the classic wheat ear design, two stylized ears of wheat curving along the left and right edges, framing the central inscriptions, 1 cent, and United States of America, with E Pluribus Unum at the top. That design remained consistent for the Wheat Penny series from 1909 through 1958. Lincoln Wheat Penny. The metal composition is also typical, 95% copper, with tin and zinc making up the remainder. The coin weighs about 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19.0 millimeters. Now, when it comes to color and surface, especially for older pennies, many factors influence how a coin looks decades later. A coin might retain its original bright, red copper hue, or it might darken over time due to oxidation, becoming red-brown or fully brown. These color and surface conditions dramatically affect collector interest and value. So, is a 1930 no-mint mark penny rare? The answer is, not particularly, at least compared to many scarce dates or rare mint mark varieties. With over 157 million minted, the 1930p is by no means a key date rarity. Lincoln Wheat Penny, however, and this is crucial, coins from that era rarely survive in pristine, uncirculated condition after nearly a century of handling, storage, and environmental exposure. Consequently, 1930 pennies in high-grade condition, especially those retaining original red coloration or red-brown surfaces, are much more desirable to collectors than heavily worn, brown, or corroded pieces. Even among circulated coins, there is a big difference between a well-worn, good grade and a coin with some detail left, decent surfaces, or partial toning, and that can influence demand for set fillers, or as reference pieces. Moreover, coins with unusual surfaces, coloration, or even certain errors tend to draw more attention. That said, because 1930p is common, even a coin that looks rare at first glance may still be a fairly typical example unless it really shows exceptional preservation. A caution often echoed by collectors: just because a coin is old and rusty doesn't automatically make it rare or valuable. Dirty, corroded, or heavily worn coins typically have less collectible value than coins that show clear design detail or better surface integrity. Indeed, some collectors in forums have noted that many coins listed at high prices, especially common ones, may be overhyped or even scams. For example, one commenter noted finding several 1930 no-mint coins but emphasized that their value in circulated condition is modest. Now, the current market value, even a 1930 Lincoln Wheat Penny in poor condition can hold notable worth. While coins in mint or uncirculated condition can command $265,000, examples in rusty, dirty, and circulated conditions still attract interest and can fetch between $445,000, depending on the level of wear, patina, and market demand at auction. Collectors today are willing to pay a premium for coins that exhibit authentic circulation marks and a natural, untouched appearance because these coins are rare reminders of the Depression-era America. Specialized auctions and online marketplaces have seen increasing activity for these coins, highlighting the persistent interest among collectors worldwide. If you're a collector or planning to hold/inspect such a coin, or any old wheat penny, here are some tips to maximize your chances of identifying valuable examples and avoid pitfalls. First, condition matters. Surface preservation, legibility of details, absence of heavy corrosion, and original color, or partial red, matter far more than age. A bright red or red-brown coin with crisp detail will almost always fetch more than a brown or corroded one. Second, don't clean the coin aggressively. Cleaning might remove oxidation, but it can also strip away patina or original copper surface, reducing collector value. Many collectors in online numismatic forums warn that cleaning degrades value. Third, consider professional grading if you believe the coin might be in unusually good condition. Grading by a recognized authority, e.g. a major coin grading service, can authenticate condition, color, and surface, which helps determine realistic market value. Fourth, compare against trusted price guides and recent auction sales rather than relying on opaque online listings. There are many inflated or misleading online valuations, especially for common date coins. Actual realized auction prices and trusted coin value resources give a more realistic picture. Several collectors online have noted this discrepancy. Fifth, if you keep coins for the long term, store them in a stable, low-moisture environment to avoid further oxidation and rust. Using inert holders or coin flips can help preserve remaining detail and prevent worsening condition. The 1930 no-mint mark United States 1-cent coin, the so-called Lincoln Wheat Penny, is a coin rooted in American history at a difficult time. With over 157 million minted, it's not rare per se, but the passage of decades means that crisp, well-preserved specimens are increasingly uncommon, and those coins remain of interest to collectors. If you hold a 1930 penny with heavy rust, dirt, or oxidation, that doesn't automatically make it worthless, but realistic expectations are key. For most rusted or well-worn examples, prices will likely stay modest, cents to a few dollars. If you're lucky and your coin shows features of original copper color, legible details, and overall decent condition, and especially if professionally graded, then its value could climb into higher tier collector ranges. Next up, the United States Lincoln Wheat Penny. But we're not talking about just any penny. We're focusing on the 1926 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, a fascinating coin that has captured the attention of collectors around the world. In circulated condition, this coin may seem humble at first glance, yet it carries a story that connects us to the roaring 1920s, the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the early history of modern American coinage. If you've ever wondered which pennies hold real value in today's auction market, stick around because this 1926 wheat penny could surprise you. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, officially known as the Lincoln Cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin broke with tradition by featuring a real historical figure, something unprecedented in U.S. coinage at the time. The obverse shows a detailed portrait of Lincoln, capturing his thoughtful expression, while the reverse originally displayed two stalks of wheat framing the denomination, a design that would later become legendary among collectors as the wheat reverse. By 1926, the Lincoln Cent had been in circulation for nearly 2 decades. This period was a time of economic growth and cultural transformation in the United States, marked by the Jazz Age, the expansion of automobiles, and the rise of modern industry. Coins like the 1926 Lincoln Penny were not just currency, they were part of daily life, exchanged in every corner of the country, from grocery stores to banks. The 1926 edition, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, was produced without a mint mark, which today distinguishes it from coins minted in Denver or San Francisco. So, what makes the 1926 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark special? First, its design is classic and instantly recognizable. On the obverse, Lincoln's profile is elegantly rendered, with the word Liberty clearly inscribed to his left and the date 1926 stamped to his right. Surrounding Lincoln is the national motto, "In God We Trust," a detail that had been included on pennies since 1909 and continues to this day. Turning to the reverse, the iconic wheat ears dominate the design, gently curving along the edges to frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. The details in the wheat stalks are intricate, and even in circulated coins, you can often see traces of Brenner's original artistry. Collectors particularly value coins where these details remain visible despite years of handling, as the preservation of fine lines can significantly influence a penny's market value. Another subtle yet important feature is the coin's composition. Made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the 1926 Lincoln Penny has a rich reddish-brown patina in circulated condition, which often develops into a darker, almost chocolate hue over time. Coins with even color distribution and minimal surface damage tend to attract higher bids at auctions, even if they show wear from decades of circulation. While the 1926 Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted in large quantities, its survival rate in good condition today is relatively low. Most coins of this era were heavily circulated, so finding one that retains clear details, sharp lettering, and intact wheat stalks is a challenge. The absence of a mint mark indicates it came from the Philadelphia Mint, and coins from this mint are often sought after because they represent a large portion of historical American coinage yet are increasingly scarce in quality grades suitable for collectors. Collectors and numismatists look for several key indicators when evaluating a 1926 penny. Sharpness of the date, the visibility of Lincoln's facial features, and minimal wear on the wheat stalks are critical. Even in circulated condition, a coin that exhibits moderate wear but retains these details can command a premium in the auction market. This makes the 1926 Lincoln Wheat Penny an appealing option for collectors who want a piece of history without venturing into the higher-priced, uncirculated coin market. So, how much is a 1926 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark worth today? The value depends heavily on condition. In average circulated condition, these pennies typically fetch between $515,000, though coins with less wear, richer color, and clearer detail can command higher prices, sometimes reaching $675,000 or more. Graded coins, certified by professional numismatic services, can significantly exceed these values if they fall into fine or very fine condition. It's worth noting that market demand for Lincoln Wheat pennies remains strong because of their historical significance and the enduring popularity of collecting coins from this classic series. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1926 Lincoln Wheat penny, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. First, always inspect the coin for signs of excessive wear, cleaning, or damage, as these factors can drastically reduce its value. Coins should ideally have even color and no major scratches or dents. Second, consider buying from reputable sources. Certified coin dealers, auction houses, and numismatic shows are the safest places to find authentic coins. Third, study the details of the wheat stalks and Lincoln's portrait carefully. Even small variations can indicate higher quality coins or rare die errors that are prized in the collecting community. Finally, remember that collecting coins is not just about monetary value, it's about owning a tangible piece of history, connecting with the era it was minted, and enjoying the hunt for unique specimens. The 1926 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is more than just a small copper coin. It's a symbol of American history, artistry, and culture. Despite being over 95 years old, these coins continue to capture the imagination of collectors and investors alike. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your journey into coin collecting, the 1926 Lincoln penny offers a tangible connection to the past and a potential avenue for meaningful investment. So the next time you hold one of these coins in your hand, remember you're not just holding change. You're holding history, artistry, and a story that has survived nearly a century. Next up, the United States Lincoln wheat penny, specifically the 1919s, featuring the San Francisco mint mark, in a black rusty condition. This coin is more than just a small piece of copper. It is a tangible piece of history, a silent witness to the post-World War I era, and a rare gem sought after by collectors in today's auction market. We will explore everything you need to know about this remarkable coin, from its history and unique features to its rarity, current market value, and tips for collectors looking to add this piece to their collection. The story of the Lincoln wheat penny begins in 1909, when the United States Mint issued the very first penny to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This design was revolutionary at the time because it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person on the obverse, rather than the traditional allegorical figures. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, can be found on certain early coins, sparking debates and even controversy among collectors at the time. The Lincoln wheat penny quickly became a staple in American pockets, circulating widely and enduring as a symbol of Lincoln's enduring legacy. By 1919, the nation was emerging from the shadows of World War I, and coins minted during this period carry a sense of historical significance that adds to their collectible value. Focusing specifically on the 1919s Lincoln wheat penny, this coin was minted in San Francisco, as denoted by the S mint mark located just below the date on the obverse. What makes this coin especially intriguing is its black rusty coloration. Over time, pennies can develop a patina or surface oxidation due to exposure to various environmental factors. In the case of the 1919s, this black rusty shade is not merely a blemish. It tells a story of decades of circulation, storage conditions, and chemical interactions with its surroundings. Collectors often appreciate such toned coins for their unique appearance, which cannot be replicated artificially. The black rust can, in some instances, even enhance the visual appeal and distinctiveness of the coin, making it stand out in a collection. When examining the physical characteristics of the 1919s Lincoln wheat penny, one immediately notices the classic features of the wheat penny design. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's dignified portrait dominates the coin, with intricate details visible in his hair, beard, and facial features, even in coins with heavy toning or surface oxidation. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," arch above Lincoln's head, while "Liberty" and the date, accompanied by the S mint mark, flank the portrait. On the reverse, the iconic wheat ears stretch along both sides of the coin, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Even with the black rusty surface, these design elements retain a level of charm and historical artistry that collectors admire. Rarity is a key factor in the desirability of any coin, and the 1919s Lincoln wheat penny certainly fits this criterion. While not the rarest of all wheat pennies, its survival rate in collectible condition is significantly lower than its Philadelphia or Denver counterparts, especially in mid to high grades. Black rusty specimens are particularly interesting because they indicate long-term exposure and handling that few coins have endured, making them rarer and more appealing to collectors who seek unique examples rather than flawless, uncirculated coins. The combination of the San Francisco Mint, the 1919 date, and the distinct black rusty surface creates a coin that is highly sought after in the numismatic market. The current market for a 1919s Lincoln wheat penny in black rusty condition is quite strong. Prices can vary widely depending on the severity of the rust, the coin's overall wear, and the demand among collectors. In general, these coins can command $285,000 at auction, with particularly well-preserved or eye-catching specimens sometimes exceeding the $1 million mark. It is important to note that grading, authenticity, and provenance play significant roles in determining the final value. Coins that have been professionally graded by reputable services such as PCGS or NGC tend to fetch higher prices and provide buyers with confidence in the coin's condition and authenticity. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1919 Lincoln Wheat penny, there are a few essential tips to keep in mind. First, always examine the coin closely for signs of damage or cleaning. Cleaning can drastically reduce a coin's value, especially for collectors who value natural toning and patina. Second, consider professional grading services, as they can verify the coin's authenticity and provide an objective assessment of its condition. Third, pay attention to auctions and reputable coin dealers, as these sources often provide the best opportunities to acquire rare coins at fair market prices. Lastly, be patient and willing to wait for the right specimen, as the unique characteristics of black rusty coins mean that each piece is different, and finding one that meets your aesthetic and collector standards may take time. The 1919 Lincoln Wheat penny in black rusty condition is more than just a collectible coin. It is a piece of American history, a tangible link to the early 20th century, and a rare treasure that commands respect and admiration in the numismatic community. Its unique coloration, historical significance, and relative rarity make it a coin that appeals to both seasoned collectors and new enthusiasts alike. Whether you are a collector seeking to expand your wheat penny collection or an investor looking for a coin with enduring value, the 1919 Lincoln Wheat penny offers a fascinating glimpse into the past and a promising opportunity in today's auction market. Thank you for joining me today on this journey through American coin history. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more content on rare and valuable coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from our channel. Keep hunting, stay curious, and as always, may your coins tell a story worth collecting.